There is a difference between different provinces, but it's still the core cultural values, which is not how you dress and not what you eat, but it's how you behave, how you interact with each other.
I would say Pakistani culture is really family-oriented. My mom has always said the decisions you make will affect how your family is looked upon, and I feel like they're just a lot more close-knit there.
In Pakistan, there's a very, very strong family bond, and basically you would do anything for each other, and we always felt that. All of our cousins were there, and all of our cousins are like sisters and brothers, and we're very, very close, and my aunts and uncles there would take care of us as if we were their own kids.
It's more of a combined family environment there, so it's like a one big family, and everybody get to visit each other, and I think it was a nice support system in Pakistan.
I remember we lived in this huge house with my dad's brother and his family. So I have 3 siblings. So it was the 4 of us and then our 4 cousins. You grow up in a family where you almost have like 2 pairs of parents because they're looking out for us as well. And then I felt like I had like 7 siblings.
It's, I guess, just our culture that we grew up in our family, and when we grow up around like a lot of people, not just our parents, but a lot of like your families everywhere, always there.
My parents still live in West Virginia. We probably see each other quite often, and I think we tend to still have somewhat of those values, although probably my family in Pakistan probably could not understand that we're not living next door to my parents or that we're not living in the same house.
And I think it was a very protective atmosphere, and everybody cared for each other, and especially if you're the youngest. That's what my experience has been. If you're the youngest, they really take care of you.
The oldest has more responsibility and then sets more example for the youngest one, and in our culture it's pretty big because the oldest is the big one, and the one that really needs to make sure that they have their morals right and their culture right so they can pass it on to their siblings and their sisters.
Finding a kind of environment and a community that more closer to the culture of the parents is very important. And here, because they want to have children where they have friends with, and they will be able to kind of communicate with either in the same language or in English, but kind of a similar culture,
Culturally, we are very united, so, within the family. So if there is for example, if there is a problem between me and my wife, then the elders will come in and help you out, because the marriages are not between the 2 people, it's more of between the two families.
Wedding in Pakistan is a totally different thing. Most of the time it is an arranged marriage. It's a kind of merger of 2 families, not 2 persons only. That was the cultural thing. Because parents get involved, the whole family gets involved.
My husband's family was friends with my older brothers. They knew each other, so that's how we got to know them. It is better to have more than one mind making the decision. So there were more, believe me, there were more than one brain who was working on this.
Arranged marriage, in the Pakistani sense, it's not arranged per se. It's mostly like the guy and the girl are introduced by their parents, and if they end up getting along really well, they end up liking each other, then they say yes to the marriage.
And they finally decided, or they found my husband. They told me, and I had the option. I could say yes or I could say no. I was working in California, and I told everybody I'm going home to get married, and it was very different for people to know that you're going home and you're going to get married, but I really trusted my family that they will do the right thing for me.
My mother and I were also in a kind of a race to see, so she was trying to arrange me, and then I said, okay, you can do what you have to do, I'll meet people, as you say, but I should also be open to see if I could find anybody. So my husband, I actually met in grad school. We went to Penn State together. He was getting his PhD in chemistry, and I was getting my doctorate in human development.
I got married in my parents' house the house that I was born in.
The weddings are so elaborate. I mean, nothing compares to a Pakistani wedding.
Usually, you do wear lots of jewelry. Your parents give you some jewelry, your husband brings you some jewelry, and I mean, you know, and then there was a special outfit. The day of wedding I'm wearing, it's like an off-white. It's like a long skirt and a shirt and a big scarf. It's all the embroidery is handmade. It took them about 3 months to make the outfit.
Typical Pakistani marriages here also now are very elaborate. They are doing all the customs, etc., which are done in Pakistan.
You know, my culture kind of drove the wedding, but I wore red, you know, which was great, and I thought it was great, and he was fine with it. We had the nikah, which is the actual like ceremony, at my house. At that time, while my father wasn't living, he had deceased by that point, he became wheelchair bound. So I always thought that if we had done it at home, he would have, you know, it would have been more intimate.
I got married in Kentucky, and my husband is from Louisville. We had a religious ceremony, but we also had a ceremony in the court.
So we had it in the house with family and friends. You have to recite some things in Arabic, and he had a hard time with that. But besides that, I thought, I mean, it was great. I mean, everything went out well. I don't think he had any issues. There was a lot of Pakistani people there, and I mean, he was fine. He was dancing, and his family may have been a little overwhelmed, but they did fine.
There are many events even before the marriage. Many nights are spent, you know, when you keep on dancing and cultural celebrations and things like that.
We had our engagement party, and then we had the party before that.
The social ceremonies of Pakistani weddings can wear you out. They'll go on the whole night and late into the night. Lot of fun.
We had about 500 people who came to celebrate.
People come from all over the country, and they feel that they are invited. They self-invite themselves, actually. Sometimes you don't have to invite people. If there is a wedding going on, it's automatic. You are self-invited.
It worked out really good. We've been married for 22 years. It'll be 23 in August.
The Pakistani community here is very close-knit, and we tend to socialize a lot with each other.
Pakistani community is pretty big here. They have a large number of families, and they are all very interconnected with each other, which is not surprising, actually, because whenever you have a community in a different culture, they always internet with each other and interconnected. So that is a kind of natural response.
We have a lot of get-togethers, like pretty much every Saturday, Sunday, even Fridays, and like during the week there's always like lunches and dinners and always something going on.
Generally, we get together when somebody has a dinner, and you sit and you eat and you talk and you discuss things.
Eat. So we love to eat.
Pakistani people are very big on serving and feeding people. You come to my house and you'll be forced to eat. I mean, you will be eating and eating and eating.
A couple years ago, I actually invited my 5 closest friends over, and we dressed up in Pakistani clothes, and I had my mom cook us dinner, but a little less spicy so that they would be okay.
If you're coming for dinner, there will be a lot of meat, chicken, goat, beef, rice, and bread.
There is another thing which unites the people of Pakistan, that is cricket. We all love cricket, you know. And so if anything is going on, if there is a cricket match, then no matter what part of the country, what political party you belong to, what language you speak, you are there for Pakistan. So that is a very strong uniting force.
Everybody plays cricket. So in the streets, you know, we play in our streets in the night cricket. So people put lights and they play on the streets, and of course that damages windows and stuff. But
yeah, my dad is actually like really into cricket. He plays for like a team in Lexington too, and he's played like everywhere we've lived, so he's really into that.
I usually tell my colleagues, they always ask me when there is a match going on, I always tell them that it's like a baseball, a different kind of baseball, that there is a pitcher, and which a baller for us, and the person who is hitter is a batsman in cricket. And interesting thing in cricket and baseball, there are 2 persons who are playing, then the rest are standing.
I was a member of the badminton club, a member of the basketball club, a pretty aggressive player. The basket itself was a little too tall for me, so I enjoyed passing the ball, and I passed it to people who could score. And so you have to use your brain in order to pass the ball to the right person at the right time.